10 classic cartoons from the 1940s you need to see. Few things in life can match the joy of Saturday mornings spent in front of the TV, munching on a bowl of cereal while diving into a world of colorful characters. Did you know that during the 1940s, over 400 animated shorts were produced? For those who grew up watching these gems, it's hard to forget the laughter and excitement they brought to our weekends. Many of these shows have faded from our memories. In this video, we'll explore 10 classic cartoons from the 1940s that you need to see, from laugh-out-loud situations to heartwarming tales, and the unforgettable characters that made our childhood so special. Let's dive in. Starting our list with number 10, Superman. Originally brought to life by Fleischer Studio in 1941, this animated series gave us the thrilling adventures of Superman, the Man of Steel, who defended Metropolis from villains, mad scientists, and terrifying robots. Each episode opened with that famous line, "Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive," which sparked excitement before Superman took flight to save the day. The action-packed episodes offered kids a unique look at the Man of Steel as he battled villains with courage, using his super strength, X-ray vision, and unforgettable red cape. For fans of that era, this was the first time they could watch Superman move, fly, and fight right before their eyes, on black and white screens. While today's generation has many superheroes to choose from, Superman of the 1940s was the one and only hero that kids, as well as adults, were ready to die for. It was pure heroic magic. Number 9, Looney Tunes. Looney Tunes is one of those timeless cartoons that brings back an instant wave of nostalgia. Introduced by Warner Bros. In theaters in the 1930s and hitting TV in the 1940s, this cartoon series was a big part of many of our lives. With lively characters like Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, and Elmer Fudd, Looney Tunes became an essential part of childhood for millions. Every character had their own characteristics. Elmer, the stubborn hunter, always seemed to wind up on the wrong side of every joke. Daffy was the constantly irritated rival, and Bugs was the villainous joker. What made Looney Tunes so special was its humor. It was clever, often filled with double meanings that kids and adults could both appreciate. The colorful animation, exaggerated expressions, and unforgettable catchphrases, like Bugs' famous "What's up, Doc?" brought these characters to life in a way that felt like they were part of the family. Which Looney Tunes character was your all-time favorite? Comment down below. On number 8, Casper the Friendly Ghost. The Friendly Ghost, better known as Casper, was a 1945 cartoon that brought a heartwarming twist to ghost stories. Casper wasn't like other ghosts. He wasn't out to scare anyone. Instead, he just wanted to make friends. Created by Seymour Wright and Joe Oriolo, this animated short was about a little ghost who stood apart from the spooky, frightening images that ghosts usually had. Casper's friendly nature made him a lovely character, someone people loved because of his innocence and warmth. In the cartoon, Casper would approach animals and people hoping to make friends, only to see them flee in fear. Despite the constant rejection, Casper's spirit remained hopeful. Casper's sweet personality captured hearts back then and still brings smiles today. Up next, number 7, Pinocchio. Pinocchio was one of those unforgettable Disney classics that instantly brings back childhood memories. Based on the Italian novel, The Adventures of Pinocchio, this animated film is filled with both heartwarming and suspenseful moments. The cartoon follows the journey of Pinocchio, a wooden puppet crafted by the kind Geppetto, who wishes to have his own little boy. With his friend and conscience, Jiminy Cricket, Pinocchio went on a series of adventures, learning lessons along the way about honesty, bravery, and the importance of making good choices. If you could ask Pinocchio one question, what would it be? Share your questions in the comments. This animated classic stands out for its beautiful hand-drawn animation and emotional depth that both children and adults still appreciate. Scenes like the terrifying Pleasure Island sequence or the breathtaking underwater escape from Monstro the whale left lasting impressions. It's a cartoon that still brings a sense of nostalgia to audiences everywhere. Number 6, Dumbo. Dumbo, the 1941 animated classic, brings back such vivid memories, doesn't it? It's like stepping into that circus tent again and feeling every emotion Dumbo goes through. The story follows this little elephant with oversized ears, making him an outsider in his world. At first, those big ears were mocked, especially when the other elephants and the circus audience made fun of him. But then, with the help of his little friend Timothy Q. Mouse, Dumbo learns that his ears make him special, and they give him the power to fly. When we think back on it now, Dumbo feels bittersweet. The heartbreak of being separated from his mother hits even harder as an adult. That scene where they share a quiet moment Trunks touching always brings a tear. But there's also triumph. Dumbo's transformation to outcast to hero is timeless. It's a simple story, but it carries so much heart, making it unforgettable across generations. Moving on to number 5, Bambi. Bambi, released in 1942, is a heartwarming cartoon that many remember fondly as one of the most emotionally touching animated films of the 1940s. Following the gentle story of a young deer named Bambi, kids watched him grow up in the forest, making friends with lovable characters like Thumper the Rabbit and Flower the Skunk. Do any of you remember the lesson Thumper's father taught him, which we all need to learn in this era? Tell us down below if your own life was shaped by these lessons. The memories associated with Bambi run deep. For most, the scenes of Bambi learning to walk or playing in the meadow brought laughter, while the emotional scenes of the loss of Bambi's mother and the fiery destruction of his home brought us to tears. Bambi was one of those cartoons that had innocence, with the lessons of resilience and growth. And for 1940s audiences, it brought beautiful animation, realistic animal characters, and a heartfelt storyline to life on the big screen. Now, Bambi reminds us of childhood innocence and the bittersweet beauty of growing up. Number 4, Crusader Rabbit. Crusader Rabbit was the first ever animated TV series, bringing something fresh and exciting to screens in the late 1940s. Created by Jay Ward and Alex Anderson, this cartoon introduced Crusader Rabbit, a brave little rabbit, and his sidekick, Rags the Tiger. Together, they would go on exciting adventures, fighting villains and helping those in need. Each episode features Crusader Rabbit's cleverness and bravery as he tackles various challenges, often with a mix of humor and action. For those who grew up watching this cartoon, Crusader Rabbit brings memories of childhood afternoons spent in front of the TV. The theme song and characters' witty banter made it a memorable experience. Many still remember how Crusader Rabbit inspired them to be brave and adventurous in their own lives. Alright, it is time for number 3, Jim and Judy in Telland. Jim and Judy in Telland is a charming cartoon that many may have forgotten from the 1940s. This animated series brought together the characters Jim and Judy, who were two adventurous kids exploring the world of television. Each episode took viewers on a fun-filled journey where they encountered different characters and stories inspired by popular TV shows of that era. Back then, watching it felt almost magical, especially since televisions were still a new, thrilling adventure. Kids would sit wide-eyed, completely captivated by the idea of stepping into another world through their screens. The show was unique for its time, blending education with entertainment. Jim and Judy would often solve problems or learn important lessons, making it enjoyable for both children and adults. The blend of adventure, humor, and valuable lessons made it an amazing experience that many enjoyed. Let's look at number 2, The Adventures of Powwow. You might not have heard of The Adventures of Powwow, but it's a charming little cartoon from the 1940s that deserves a second look. This animated series follows the adventures of a young Native American boy named Powwow, who lives in a peaceful forest. Powwow was a kind and brave young man who loved animals and nature. He often finds himself in exciting adventures, protecting the forest and its creatures from danger. The cartoon was filled with colorful characters and beautiful animation. It's a great example of classic American animation with a unique cultural twist. While it may not be as well known as some other cartoons from the era, The Adventures of Powwow is a hidden gem that's worth discovering. Finally, at number 1, The Red Hot Riding Hood. In the 1940s, one cartoon that often gets overlooked is Red Hot Riding Hood. This lively short film, created by Tex Avery, puts a fun twist on the classic fairy tale. Instead of a sweet little girl, we've got Red, a sassy and sexy nightclub singer. And the wolf? Well, he's not your average wolf. He's a smooth-talking, jazz-loving dude who's got his eye on Red. This big bad wolf goes to great lengths to win her affection, leading to hilarious and outrageous antics. The whole thing is full of jokes, music, and some wild animation. It's got a lot of energy and just plain fun to watch. The Red Hot Riding Hood may not be as well known today. It still holds up. If you like classic cartoons, or you just want a good laugh, Red Hot Riding Hood is worth checking out. What were your favorite cartoons from the 1940s you miss badly? Share your favorites with us in the comments. From the mischief of Bugs Bunny to the innocence of Bambi, these characters continue to make us smile. Remember watching these shows after school or on lazy Saturday mornings? Those moments are treasures we can always cherish. If you enjoyed this video, there's even more waiting for you. Join us as we explore the 1950s cartoons in our next video. You'll find beloved favorites and hidden treasures that will remind you of your childhood. So, don't forget to check them out. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.